Welcome back to the Going for Three pod. Your usual hosts are back. Hot Takes Collins, aka Chris Collins, and I'm here with who am I here with today?
TP, call me Percy for short, what I'm saying? Real formal,
Okay.
And Tony Farr, aka G, the old man of the group, as always.
Yeah, the guys are back at it again, and I would be remiss if I didn't say my usual stick about Lakers in 2, and that has not changed. Just want to keep that. Just want to be consistent. It's all about being consistent. But enough of that. We'll
Instantly wrong, but sure, go on.
No. No. So we'll get right into it. The Heisman was announced this past week, and the winner was Bryce Young, and he kind of dominated the votes. It looks like so. But how do you guys feel about the voting process, the points that awarded to the players, and just Bryce winning it overall?
Do you want to go first?
Voting skewed, my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
There's not only a bit of Alabama bias. I mean, to an extent, rightfully, because Alabama keeps winning, but and recency bias. Because quite frankly, Bryce Young was not playing Heisman winner football consistently all year round. And I think off the back of that Georgia game where he did admittedly dominate, I mean, he went ham on them. I think that's what did it. But it is what it is on that. I don't have a problem with Hutchinson at 2. My only issue with looking at the list is, admittedly, no offense, PTP, but I probably would have had Pickett 2, and I would have had Walker higher, probably 3 or 4. That's my opinion. Other than that, it's all recency and Alabama bias for me.
Who do you think should have won?
Well, I'm gonna sound like a homer if I say who I want to win. Why should I go fuck it? Because
honestly, Hutchinson or Walker.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm no Michigan homer, and it might as well be my catchphrase at this point. Pains me to say it, but
okay, we were on a good track here.
I just said it might as well be my catchphrase at this point, but it pains me to say it. But yeah, Hutchinson and Kenneth Walker were, I think, the most consistent players.
Well, I mean, Kenneth had some games where he didn't play too well either. Specifically, the Ohio State game. I mean,
I think he still did numbers. He just didn't go stupid.
I don't even think he topped double-digit carries that game, to be honest.
Yeah, that I have to see. I know there were a couple games where he probably just might have looked like he probably was getting off to a slow start, but let me see. I can't even this is the most recent game.
What about you, PTP? How do you feel about the Heisman, and do you feel that he was deserving of said award?
For what it's worth, I mean, Bryce Young did have the good game against. He had the good game against Georgia, and throughout the year he was doing some pretty good things. But kind of like how G said, as far as consistent players throughout the year, it really did kind of come down to maybe you could debate for Walker, but more or less Hutchinson, and maybe you could just say, like, if you wanted to do like a quarterback specifically, him and Bryce probably were like 1 and 2 throughout the year, and Hutchinson broke records, led Michigan out of that hole. They were unranked coming into the year. This was his last year. It did have a lot of things leaning towards you possibly giving him the nod, but yeah, it's the same thing as what was said before. Like Pickett, I don't know how he was third in voting. I feel like he was definitely most likely, like, based off of the play he had. I don't think anybody was going to vote for him outside of that, controversy and all that stuff. They probably wanted to see him just to spite them banning the move, I think. But yeah, all bias aside, Hutchinson had a phenomenal year and it would have made more sense for him to win the Heisman. But that's just how I see it.
That's fair. That's fair. I do not agree with either of you, but I feel like that is a recurring theme. I'm starting to see. I mean, listen, we can talk about Bryce maybe not being as consistent as we would like, even though I mean they won every game except for what one.
Yeah.
I mean he had 43 touchdowns. I mean, and 4 picks. I mean, if we just, I mean, we can look at the film. That's a whole different story. But if we're just looking at the numbers on it and on the team, I mean, it did best player on the best team. Pretty. I mean, that's just usually how it go, honestly, or usually around that.
Yeah,
So
I can see that, and then
I understand that.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
that's
it's kind of like with the MVP in basketball. Sometimes in past years, where a lot of the time the person that wins the award, it really is kind of just based off like how good their team, either how good their team was, or if their year was just undeniable.
exactly, and I don't think that Aiden's, although it was very good, I don't see it as like undeniable. But like for a defensive player to win something, to win like the Heisman, it has to be like some all-time record breaking, not just
like
like
he went
school
stupid.
record.
Like,
No, he had a great year. Oh, he had it. I mean, literally an all-time great year for the school But I mean, like I don't know. I just didn't see it that way. I didn't see it. I can't think of like the last like super dominant like defensive like end that was in college.
I mean, that's a fair point. As far as giving it to a defensive player and then them asserting their dominance, but can't you really apply that logic to everybody on this list? Like nobody dominated.
I think it's Pickett definitely didn't dominate.
If you're gonna use that logic,
if you're
gonna use that logic, nobody dominated then. Nobody was like consistently dominant all year.
Yeah, and that's why like I think that it was a conversation. I think Bryce deserves the Heisman. I don't think he maybe should have ran. I mean, by the voting, it seems he ran away with it. Honestly, I don't think he should have ran away with it. But I definitely think he's deserving.
Thing with it.
Yeah,
like 2,000 votes with a year where a lot of players in either their second to last or last year really like kind of like submitted themselves for draft status. Kind of can't be having people just like automatically just because Bryce not even coming out this year. Like Bryce has 2 or 3 more years.
But also, I think it's unfair to compare this team that Bryce is quarterbacking to previous Alabama teams. This is a different iteration of Alabama. So people were literally like down on Alabama in general just because they weren't winning like they have in the past. It's a different team, different players, everything. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like we're literally holding them down or comparing them from past iterations to the present iteration. That's not really fair. Like, they're winning games, albeit some of them are uglier than others, but they're winning. And he dominated the best defense in football. The defense who we all acknowledged held everybody to what? Was it?
Like below 10?
Yeah,
13
so
minimum?
So it's like, that's something.
Yeah.
And it is. I mean, granted, it's a slight recency bias, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It's like you recognize the most recent great performances. I mean, it's just if Aiden Richardson
would like Ohio State,
if Aiden would have had like 6 sacks against Iowa, then he probably would have more votes. Not to say that he's undeserving without it, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just natural.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like more or less like the irony of it, more or less. Because I don't know. I mean, cause like a guy that ranks second in the nation in sacks is kind of, I feel, deserving, more or less. So
yeah, I just look at it in terms of nobody really dominated. So, if using the logic, well, a defensive player, probably have to dominate to win. But then again, if nobody else dominates, then if he's deserving of the award, give it to him. this would be a kind of a year where a defensive player can sneak in and get the award because nobody else really dominated.
I mean, yeah, but even to PTP's point, you said he was second in the sport in sacks.
Yeah, second to Will Anderson.
Somebody literally dominated more than he did, and Bryce Young is also second in passing touchdowns. So to some guy out of Western Kentucky by the name of Bailey Zapp.
Bailey Zapp? Are you talking about
Bailey Zappi or Zappe is his last name?
I would assume Zapp. Yeah, Bailey Zapp.
Shouts out to Zapp, slinging them touchdowns because he had 56 of them things.
And Will Rogers for the yards. That dude's in 4K. But, yeah. And obviously Bryce Young still. I see it more or less as just like Bryce Young's gonna have more seasons, probably gonna win more awards. Who knows? But
one.
Yeah, I wouldn't take him over the field to win another Heisman. It usually don't work like that, honestly.
Yeah. It'll depend on whatever quarterbacks jump off the Richter scale. Then the next season or so that he's there. So.
What is this? Alabama's third quarterback to win the Heisman in recent memory? Did Tua win a Heisman?
Yeah, I think Tua won.
Jalen did too?
Hurts, I don't think so.
No, Hurts didn't win it.
Who was the one before them?
He was he was a runner-up to Joe. Oh shit! I guess he was the runner-up when he was at Oklahoma. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah. I thought there was another Bama quarterback that is. Did AJ McCarron win Heisman when he was playing there?
No
No.
way.
I thought there's another Bama quarterback that I'm just forgetting won a Heisman outside of Tua.
Bryce Young.
Oh, with Devontae Smith. Well, I don't count.
Where did Mac finish?
Jones.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Behind
Smith,
Devontae.
Right?
Yeah.
He read it. Yeah. I think so. Yeah, that's I think they've had the Heisman winner in 3 of the last 4 years.
Oh, what? Who was the year before?
Never mind. Wait, did Tua? Oh, I don't think Tua even won one. Hold on.
Yeah, the year that Smith won it, Mac Jones was third. It was Smith, Trevor Lawrence, and then Mac Jones. Yeah. Kyle Trask and Najee Harris was the top 5.
Kyle Trask.
Kyle Trask was balling. Him and Pitt was going stupid there. Yeah. But never mind. Oklahoma had Baker and Kyler from 17 to 18. That's And so I'm trying to figure what would have been the year that was Tua's runner-up year, unless he lost to Burrow.
No, Jalen Hurts lost to Burrow.
That's crazy. Oh, they had Henry. That's who it was. So it's Henry. Oh no, that's like 2015. So
there hasn't been a repeat Heisman winner, or even somebody that's won it twice in a long time. It seems.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, for the most part, I feel like when most people win they award, it's like that's like their last year. Like they gave them the best possible best they had. That year.
I don't know about that because a lot of these guys, you got Tim Tebow was a sophomore, Sam Bradford sophomore, Mark Ingram sophomore, Johnny Manziel was a freshman, James was a freshman, Lamar Jackson was a sophomore.
Mariota was a junior, wasn't he?
You said who?
Mariota a junior when he won?
Yes, he was. But a lot of guys will have a last year.
Yeah.
I mean, these last two, it was their last year with Joe Burrow and Devontae Smith, but a lot of guys that like would win the Heisman and they came back. I mean, they didn't. It's not that like they had all of them didn't have bad years, but I think it's just really hard.
Yeah. I feel like starting
Yeah.
from at least around 2010. Because I think after Cam won, he just went to the draft, right?
Yeah, he was a junior.
Yeah, I think from that point on, probably a lot of people were just like, okay, like if the year was stellar and then they just so happen to win the Heisman, but more or less just the year itself. If the year was stellar, then they'll just move on up for the most part. It should be understandable because I mean, shoot, if that's what they feel like their best collegial year that can get them to the league, then by all means, just take it.
Yeah. Well, the award season has been for them has been decided, and even though two of our hosts do not like it, apparently Bryce Young did win the Heisman. So we move on to the NFL awards and the front runners of those awards. I guess we can start off talking first about the MVP in the NFL. So who do you guys have as far as you guys' front runners for that award?
I'm gonna say this first. I'd probably say Brady. One of them.
I guess I should just say top three.
Top three. Yeah, I'd probably say Brady, Murray, and
unless you have
Taylor.
more. Yeah. Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor, Murray, and Brady.
Okay. Gramps.
Brady, Rodgers, Taylor.
Rodgers.
I agree with Gramps. I think Rodgers deserves a lot of consideration too.
Oh my God! I think my heart just stopped. You actually agreed with me? Holy shit! Holy shit! Yep, the apocalypse is coming, folks.
I saw a black cat. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Oh no, the apocalypse. The end is nigh, everyone. He actually agreed with me.
Is this the real Chris Collins?
Well, all right. I make it sound like I just be disagreeing just to disagree.
Hey,
he's like, was she?
She.
Hey man, Aaron's he's been balling, and the team has the record to show for it. I mean, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, I say Aaron has been having he might just have a sneaky year, at least to me.
Yeah, I feel like he hasn't been like it's not the year he had before, but and maybe that's probably why he isn't getting as much consideration.
Because maybe not as much talk, but it's definitely there.
Yeah.
I feel like Taylor more or less.
Okay.
I don't think I've been talking about him either, though. Look, they've been saying he's having a good year, but as far as like what awards they could possibly give him, I don't think people have been thinking that hard about it.
Yeah, he's definitely been underrated throughout the season as well. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I agree with Gramps on that. My list is basically the same. Well, it is the same. Although, you know, I don't want to put Brady up there, but I mean, I got to. You know, like I feel like there's nobody that's really running away with it. I feel like that's very odd. Usually in years past, there's either like one or a couple of guys that you know, like they're really running away with it. Even like last year, everybody was talking about Aaron. Was it Aaron, Josh Allen, and I mean Patty got in there at a certain point, but
yeah, I think it might have been like those three specifically.
Definitely interesting. I guess we can move to the defensive side of the ball. You know, because defense matters. Who do you guys have for the defensive player of the year in the NFL? It's a harder one, I feel like.
Yeah, because I've only heard like three names, more or less. I mean, obviously Aaron Donald. Micah Parsons is surprisingly making waves as somebody they want to put in like the top three. And I mean, who would be a third?
I mean, I heard Myles Garrett was
Myles
Yeah,
Garrett's had a really
yeah,
good year.
Garrett, yeah.
Yeah.
That might be the three that I'm thinking probably.
Yeah.
No TJ.
I feel like last
he's
year
missed time.
I
think it takes him out.
He missed a lot of time.
I mean, he leads the league in sacks. It looks like that got to mean something.
Yeah.
No, it does, but he has missed
though,
time.
So.
Yeah.
He's missed 2 games. I mean, I feel like that's still good. If he plays the rest of the games, he'll play what 15 of the 17.
Yeah, 17 or 18.
I think if he continues to lead the league in sacks, I think that is it 18? I thought 17. Which one was it?
I think it's an extra game.
Yeah, 17 games.
Yeah, I see.
I mean, Trevon's not going to win it, but I can see him, top 5, 6.
Yeah.
Just because of the picks, even though his coverage isn't great, but because of the picks. And you know what? Been playing his ass off. And if he continues, it could get into discussion. Nowhere near winning it, probably. Darius Slay.
Who'd you say?
Darius Slay.
Darius Slay.
He's been playing his ass off. Like this is like old. He's been all of a sudden old Darius Slay is back. If he keeps this up for the rest of the season, he could sneak into this. Yeah, Darius Slay's been playing really well.
PDP said.
I mean, no, not even like that. I'm just saying. I feel like more or less, I would have thought Surtain would probably sneak in more or less because he's playing solid for a rookie, and the Broncos secondary is one of the most talented ones right now. So,
well, the thing is
he had 3 picks in 2 games, or 3 picks over the span of 2 games.
Yeah, but I don't think give Defensive Player of the Year to a rookie unless he just goes dummy, and Surtain hasn't gone dummy.
I mean, Mike is in the conversation.
Mike is probably in the conversation at the moment.
He's undoubtedly top 3 in my opinion.
Plus,
what I'm seeing is what I'm seeing on what I'm looking at, like rankings and reports and stuff like that. I see Myles, TJ, and Micah at the top 3 consistently. Yeah. That's what I'm seeing. So I mean, granted, most of them do have him at 3, but I mean, if he can continue to dominate and those other guys can take a step back, you never know what could happen. So I mean, I do agree they probably, even if it's like an unconscious bias, they probably don't want to give it to a rookie. But I mean, if he keeps dominating like he is, it's gonna make it hard for them to look the other way.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah, and then plus when you put it into perspective, like as far as like this draft class, at least at this current moment, those 2 are the only ones that are actually like really like front runners for anything outside of like defensive rookie specifically. So that kind of would say a lot as far as like how they came in pretty much almost well polished, or they can fit their team. They're fitting their team really, really well. So if they were to give it to a rookie, I mean, these 2 probably wouldn't be bad ones if they were to consider changing it this year.
When was the last time a rookie won it? What was that, Lawrence Taylor?
Shoot, might have been.
Hold on, let me find. I'll find out real quick.
That would definitely be crazy.
Oh yeah, Lawrence Taylor. Wait, JJ Watt won as a rookie?
No, that can't be that can't be right.
2012. Actually, no, it might not have been right. Wait. Oh no, okay, that was after his first year.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, I like Micah's chances. But I guess we can move past the Defensive Player of the Year of the award and past the the only quarterback award. Who do you guys have for offensive player of the year? That's basically what it's becoming because I mean the quarterbacks are always going to win the MVP apparently now. So
yeah, I feel like that's something
unfortunately,
they just
the
want to narrate it to.
Yeah, so the offensive player of the year award goes to the non-quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Well, since I tried to since I tried to like get him into the ought to be considered for MVP Cooper Kupp, then that he'll win that offensive player of the year.
Do you have any? So I guess the next question I should ask is: do you have anybody else past Cooper Kupp and Jonathan Taylor on that list? It's tough.
I mean, obviously, Henry would probably be up for both awards if he was still healthy, but I mean, you could probably throw Devontae in there.
Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have thought Jamar, low-key. Actually, when I'm not even like Jamar, I'm probably like Justin Jefferson, maybe. Justin Jefferson's having a good year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that, like, with Cooper Kupp and Jonathan Taylor, like, they're so much further ahead of, it seems, everybody else. And it looks like most categories, like, Jonathan Taylor is ahead of the second-place rusher, Joe Mixon, by over 300 yards and over 4 touchdowns. And there's only 3 people that have double-digit touchdowns as running backs. I'm looking at, or no, 4 people. And he leads them too. And then obviously Cooper Kupp has damn near almost 500 more yards. Or no, wait, almost, let's see, over 200 yards. So the next person is Justin Jefferson. Yeah. So, and what is that? 30 more catches.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of hard to put somebody else. I feel like in different years it'd be kind of like a mix. It'd be like a guy that has like a lot of rush yards, but then it'll be somebody that just like is just eating up touchdowns.
Yeah, it's definitely a runaway race with
Jonathan
those two.
Taylor. Yeah, I mean James Conner has 14 touchdowns, so that let me correct myself on that. But he doesn't have nearly the yards.
Yeah, more or less outside of those two. I mean, yeah, you could like shuffle in. You could say like Adams for number 3, Jamar, Justin. Technically, I feel like George Kittle could have been in the race if he wasn't hurt so much because he's been playing crazy these last 2 games. But that's really all I could think of.
Yeah.
What are the NFL awards? Are big ones? We did MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year. It was like Comeback Player of the Year.
Yeah, and the
rookie awards, the rookies.
I mean, with the rookies, I mean, I figure it would just be the guy that's in the running for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, if he's not in the high in the MVP race, then Micah will definitely win defensive rookie of the year. Offensive rookie of the year, Jamar.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Do they never
I
give
can't
those
even
awards to
unless
linemen?
I'm missing somebody. They don't give anything to the linemen. They don't care about them.
That really sucks. Like, they're not thinking about it because, like,
they let the most important people on the field, honestly.
Yeah.
But you know,
I feel like and then the defensive rookie. I mean, to be honest, I forgot half of the defensive rookies that got drafted. Like Azeez Ojulari ain't doing nothing right now, at least that I'm seeing. And I had to remember that he was a rookie, so. I mean, offensive rookie is kind of like the same thing, more or less.
Could you see Mac being in the conversation?
Mac could definitely be.
He could.
If it was like a top 3, it probably would have to be like Jamar. Maybe Devontae Smith? I mean, like, receiving-wise? Because, I mean, he's probably doing better than Waddle. And then Mac Jones would probably be in there, too. So,
I mean, Mac's stats don't, like, jump out at you, but he's been winning. and he hasn't thrown. He's got a decent stat line, but it's nothing that jumps out.
Yeah.
And even with like the receivers, like I feel like the only one that's probably really going crazy, it was Jamar.
Yeah. I think this is because like the Dolphins have like a revolving door of quarterbacks, and Jalen Hurt likes Rager, so I mean, or Smith has either just been missing some time, one of the two.
I mean, it looks like they'll all like get over 1,000 yards. It looks like between Jalen and Devontae, and Jamar's already at that mark, so it'd be interesting. That could probably be a closer-ish finish for an award. I'm thinking that would be nice. But yeah, then we got who's comeback player of the year.
The only ones I've seen more or less were Dak and Burrow, and honestly, I'd probably give it to Burrow.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah,
Dak's been playing like trash for a little bit.
Yeah, he came out the gate hot, and then kind of fizzled out, or I think he got hurt for a little bit, missed some time. But Burrow and Chase is just like both of them have like a good chance to win 2 awards respectively at their position. Even though it might not be the top award for Burrow, comeback of the year for what happened to him and the state of the team, he definitely is probably running away with that, in my opinion.
I also want to put some love on Carson as well.
Just a little bit of
love. Yeah. Because it was a disaster in Philly toward the end. So to even be back and playing, competent football and being a quarterback on a potential playoff team it's a thing. So
yeah,
for sure. But I mean, anybody else got anything to say about the awards?
Coach of the year. We forgot that.
Okay, yeah, coach. I mean, shit. Right now is Bill. For me.
Bill? Actually, yeah, I could see that.
Belichick, yeah.
I'd take either Cliff or Bill.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Take Bill. I look at the team. I look at the team that Cliff got out there, and I like the talent on that team a lot. So
yeah.
And he's played through. They played through some injuries and things of that nature. But
yeah, I mean, yeah, if it's based off of like just what they've done with like, because Bill pretty much really had to start over. Like if we're going off that, then most definitely Bill is definitely that guy. But if it's like record and stuff like that, Bill's definitely he's still in that too. But probably Cliff more or less.
I mean, I think Bill, Cliff, and LaFleur probably all in that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But LaFleur, just like Aaron, I feel like it's just off. They're just flying under the radar.
Yeah, LaFleur even I don't think he won it last year, but he's been having some really good stretches with that team that just kind of really don't get talked about.
For sure. Yeah. Okay. Cool on the coaches. Did I forget anyone?
No. G, unless you had anything else.
I don't.
Where'd you say goes?
No, it's probably. I think it would be Bill or Cliff. I would be surprised if anybody else.
Yeah.
I mean, I just the way that I think Bill, just because like the way he's got that team playing, and like as well as Mac has looked at points, I don't think if he went to another team that he would look any better than like the other like rookie quarterbacks that have been out there. You know what I mean? So like the way that they've handled him, and they've had that, and then obviously Bill's gonna have his defense playing at an elite level. So
I mean, even their defense at certain points had like their kind of downs. Like J.C. Jackson had to take a little bit more heavier load. Winovich in general, even from his rookie year, has been playing really well. And then Van Noy, when he left to go to Miami, and then came back, people thought in Miami he was trash. he goes back over there, he's back in form just because of the way the coaching system is set up. So
Yeah. Facts. Yeah, I got my money on Bill, man. But Cliff is in the conversation too.
yeah.
If he's if he doesn't leave for college again.
that boy Cliff worry about them Cardinals, man.
I was gonna say, where would he go now? Even if he did.
I mean, shoot, other than Oklahoma, shoot, that's the only team that really want him that I can.
Oklahoma got their coach.
Oh, they swapped him out, yeah.
Yeah, they got Venables.
They did. Yeah. Weirder things have happened though.
Yeah, mess around and go back as a coordinator.
But on to the meat and potatoes. Speaking of meat and potatoes, somebody's been eating too much meat and potatoes. That person is one Zion Williamson. Yes, we're moving to the NBA, and we're going to talk about this, man. The young player, the young stud who's supposed to be the face of the league and leading the Pelicans to the playoffs. He's looking real heavy lately, man. Reports have said he's over 300 pounds, and weight has always been a concern for him, even more so when he got into the NBA because he's been putting on more weight. So, one, how do you guys feel about the pictures that you've seen? Because he does look heavy. He does. And then, B, how do you think that's going to impact, the team going forward with, like, his rehab and how they handle him going forward?
I mean, first off, picture-wise, very disheartening because I don't know why. It's very disheartening, more or less, because he's finding jumpsuits in that size. That's already a strike for me, at least. But and as far as like team, more or less, I've seen at one point Brandon Ingram, like they gets like a little mini interview about like when they get Zion back, they'll be a lot better. At the rate of his weight, they're not gonna get Zion back, and it might not even.
Yeah, he was nowhere near playing shape.
Like I don't even think next year at this point, like even if his foot feels fine, I don't even think. Because they still got to get him in in-game shape because he can't be 300 pounds playing center. Or at least I would assume they wouldn't want him because at his height, 300 pounds really doesn't even make sense. Or anything over 300 doesn't make sense. So they're probably going to miss the playoffs this year. And next year, and next year is probably not going to be in contention unless Zion just has like Beyonce snapback of all body transformations and it's just back to Duke form, banging on people. So I'd be very concerned if I was like top brass in New Orleans because for one, who I hired to be the manager of the health of my team, even Ingram, I think it took a while for him to come back, and I don't even think his injury was that severe.
Yeah, that's definitely an issue. Is there?
Yeah, their timetable for how they manage their injuries is going to be the biggest thing that hurts them because most of these players are too young to be missing that much time with minor injuries. Then for it to be gaining weight during a foot injury just doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah. They share, if I'm not mistaken, they share like medical staff between their football and their basketball team. So it would make sense that they have issues with that, Yeah. That just means that your medical staff isn't really expertise on either one,
Plus, like they're just being overworked too. Because it's like during both seasons, you've got the same staff. Like if they both have a game on a Sunday, I would hate that. Like,
they're definitely dealing with NBA guys have been banged up and muscle issues and shit like that. So
like in a week for NFL players, and then you got the game themselves. Definitely.
And then being in New Orleans, y'all, this high quality
that jambalaya, crawfish.
Listen, I get it. I do. But I am also not paid millions of dollars to not be fat.
That's true.
So, Gramps.
There's just no excuse for it. There isn't. I mean, it doesn't matter what the staff, the coaching, the health staff, the doctors, or whatever it is. I understand they need to monitor him, but at the end of the day, he's supposed to be a grown man now in a grown man's league, rehabbing and getting ready to play. And I hate to say this, but him walking around that jumpsuit, that man looking like Fat Albert. That's not good. I mean, clearly he's not taking the game, his health, his fitness, or anything anywhere near seriously enough, and that speaks to definitely a maturity issue.
Yeah, that boy walking up the burn ain't gonna talk about hey.
And it could real and it could to a degree speak to how much does he really love the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge thing. That's a huge red flag for me.
Yeah,
I definitely agree with that. Specifically because I was watching Inside the NBA, and somebody made a good point. I think it was Kenny made a good point, basically saying that like for somebody who's played the game their whole life, like having that type of discipline is easy because you've been acclimated to doing things a certain way your whole life. So the fact that he's not doing it is even more so a red flag because he knows what he's supposed to do at this point. Because he didn't have struggles like this beforehand. He didn't struggle with his way to Duke. You know what I mean? Like even his first year, he had injuries, but like he wasn't like he wasn't ballooning up and down. So
no.
The closest at Duke to like them probably be saying like his weight was a problem when he blew out his shoe. That was the closest thing he got.
I mean, true, but that was just like him putting a lot of force and trying to
try to do that cut back in.
Yeah, but I mean,
cut the soul back.
He was fine. Yeah, I think he got like a minor injury from that, but he was fine. I think in general. But I mean, do you think this moving forward? Do you think that the Pelicans are going to have second guesses about giving him that usual third year like max that they give to young superstars?
Oh, more or less for him, he's definitely gonna have to earn it. If he does come back next season, he's going to have to have an uptick from his supposed All-Star year before he gained all the weight. He's gonna have to be crazy good to get that extension now. At least I feel like that's what they should do.
Oh, my bad, PTP. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah, that was it.
Unless he basically physically can't get on the court, they're giving it to him.
Well, I mean, when I ask, I mean, like, sometimes they offer it, faster than others. You don't think there's any scenario that even if he's playing that they don't, kind of just wait on it a little bit?
I could see it, but given the state of the franchise, the lack of overall star power, and the necessity to put together a team that wins in that market and having that marketable star, I think when push comes to shove, they're going to bite the bullet and offer it early because I think they're going to feel like they have to because they got to keep him, even if they don't keep him for the duration of said extension. They have to do it, or they're going to disenfranchise their fan base.
But more or less,
what if he doesn't sign it?
Well, I mean that's a bridge they'd have to cross when they got to it.
But I mean, more or less, when you think about it, based off how the draft is this year, there's a lot of power forwards that could garner a lot of attention leading up to that point. Depending on how bad they are, they can get another.
I mean,
they can get another
but nothing along those lines. I'm not like, there's nothing in this draft that's looking like.
Hey, if I'm in New Orleans and I can get a Jabari Smith with unlimited potential, he might not jump like Zion, but I'm taking that.
No, he's a good player, but what Grant was talking about as well was marketability, and nobody in this draft is even close to like the marketability potential that Zion Williamson has. You know what I mean? Like I don't see like these guys. Like I see guys that can be stars, even superstars if everything goes right. But like Zion has that face of the league as far as from a marketing standpoint about him. You know what I mean? Like I think that like Giannis has been and can be the best player in the league, but do I think he's the face of the league? No, I don't. You know what I mean? I don't think he has that type of marketability about him. You know what I mean? So I mean, that's definitely important to a small market team, and a team and a team that's not winning as well as Graham stated. So I mean, you can't just find another Zion.
After what happened with AD,
Yeah.
I think they're gonna just key the city basically to him. They got to, or else that franchise is doomed.
Not doomed. Oh my god! I mean, I don't
such
know.
an extreme word.
At this point, especially when Chris brought up the fact of like, what if he doesn't sign an extension? They would pretty much like say Zion does come back to fruition, and then like how you said, the team as a whole is like how you said in a weird state. He could still be in the same position as far as like maybe Zion gets back in shape and he's like, you know what, I don't like New Orleans no more. I don't even want these.
It's already out there that he doesn't like New Orleans and that his family doesn't like him New Orleans.
Yeah, so it's like in a way, it's like at this point, like if I'm that team, marketability of course is a factor in this, but at the same time, it's like I want to win, and like if we're not selling commercials and tickets because y'all don't like the power forward that we have right now, we're winning games. Y'all gonna show up because we winning games. That's what I feel like they should be on right now.
I mean, winning games is probably the quickest way. Well, it's a great way to.
The Hornets are the prime example. Like the Hornets weren't probably getting people in seats until LaMelo and them started balling, and it's like, well, LaMelo is a little bit more.
Well, I'm about to say they were definitely LaMelo because LaMelo has that marketability about him.
Yeah, but it's also on top of the fact of like if he's winning, like him winning games and still being like that funny guy, it works
definitely
better.
Helps.
But
definitely
if
helps.
you're just winning games, then shoot, like you can get up in there just on that regardless. So
but also to Zion's credit a little bit, we have seen him ball out. He was balling last year.
Yeah,
like they were hooping. Well, he was hooping individually. I don't agree on the coaching choice that they had and some of their choices that they made as a roster. So it's kind of hard to tell whether, he can't be a part of winning basketball. I'm not gonna, not to say that you said that, but
yeah,
we've seen him, look like he can live up to those expectations and win games. So I think it's just all up, I think it's a thing that he needs somebody in this corner to just be honest with him. Like, listen, man, you fat right now. There's really no way about it. You are a James Dean breakfast sandwich biscuit away from Fat Albert.
You are dumb thick in the worst way possible.
Yeah, like when people say,
you say you dumb thick.
The worst way possible, I said. Now don't twist it on me
people
here.
say built like a bowl of grits. To you, this isn't a good thing. You think like some cold oatmeal, not some regular oatmeal. Some cold.
That boy built like a bowl of grits with the shrimp. New Orleans style, Cajun style.
That boy built like a roux. That boy built like a roux.
That boy was like a CC's buffet. Good Lord.
Heavy, man. Definitely heavy.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, shit, it can't be good for his rehab. Also, to
definitely
be walking around with that much weight.
If his foot wasn't already like taking longer because of maybe him not working and the team not working with him good enough, the weight is only gonna compress his foot muscles even more.
Exactly. Yep. Well, enough about Zion and his gumbo eating.
That's enough about that.
We move on to we move on to another player who knows how to take care of his body and definitely does and has, and he's made history tonight. So we're talking about none other than Steph Curry breaking the all-time 3-point makes record in the regular season.
Mr. Wardell,
nearly 500 fewer games than Ray Allen did it.
Yeah, 511 games
Absolutely. A guy who many will coin him with revolutionizing the game and really,
That is true.
really, bringing that 3-point shot to the forefront and making it an emphasis for how a lot of teams play today. So I guess I'm just going to ask you guys how you feel about, Steph Curry, his record that's being broke, and basically just the moment, I guess, that happened between him and Ray and Reggie. They got in there. It was a pretty solid moment.
Yeah, it was good to get that support. What can you say about him? I mean, he's a phenom. It's crazy. It's honestly crazy. And how could you not? He's likable. He's marketable. Like, nobody hates him. Like, how can you hate the dude?
He's definitely a cocky son of a gun, though. I do like him, but I just want to throw that out there. He's definitely a cocky son of a gun.
I got to Chris.
Well, I mean,
if you could do what he does, you'd be cocky too.
Oh no, I'm not. Listen, I'm not saying it's a bad thing at all. All I'm highlighting is that Steph is a quote unquote. It's not even my term. Somebody else had this term, but he's a media darling. So like the media, they love him. They do. No matter what he does. I love Steph Curry. But, he's a cocky son of a gun, and he'll let you know about it. He's shimmying, he's throwing mouthpieces in people and shit. And
he high stepping after half court shots.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's a cocky one.
Yes,
and that's okay. I just want to put it out there though.
Yeah.
But
having that moment, especially in New York, like the Garden is very much historical. Ray Allen was there for it. I think they were on TNT, so Reggie was on call for the game itself.
Reggie was calling the game.
Yep, and they all got together.
Mm-hmm. And they had the jersey too with the 2,973 for Curry on the back of it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But like Curry is one of the. I ain't gonna lie, he probably is one of like my favorite point guards of all time at this point, because I still remember that thunder shot he hit. Man, hit it from the hash.
We're not gonna talk about that.
We're not gonna go into description, but I mean, hey, that shot was the shot. I was like, this guy is just built different. Like that right there was that moment where I'm like, this guy he's a top guy.
Yeah. Speaking of top guys, well, actually, first let me just kind of add a tidbit to the point about what PTP said. It definitely was good that he broke it in New York, because it's almost poetic that some years ago he had that breakout performance in New York where he had like 50 points on like 10 threes, and that was like for a lot of people his breakout performance for a lot of people, where he kind of elevated himself to like a superstar,
Yeah.
Like that was the baby face when he was hopping around.
Assassin.
Yeah. He was hopping around like he's on fire. Like that, and that was for a lot of people, that's where they found out. I was like, oh, he's like that. Yes, he is. As far as
it did come full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like PDP said, I think it is definitely interesting to have a conversation, see where he ranks all time for point guards. Yeah. How do you guys feel about his place among the all-time greats of the position?
Top five.
You got any more detail than that?
I say he's 3.
I want names.
Yeah.
You want names? Okay.
I want names.
All right. You know what? I'll put him 4 right now.
4?
Right this second.
Yeah.
Right this second. Magic's still number 1.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Oscar's 2. And Chris Paul's 3.
Okay.
Kind of think about it. Yeah, I might have to rearrange mine.
Steph 4.
And then, okay.
Yeah, and then ooh,
There's only one.
you
Don't you do
know,
it? You know who belongs right in that number.
There's only one name that should be 5.
There's only one name, and I know PTP know what I'm talking about because he live in that spot.
Yeah.
Don't you do it?
Yes, Russ.
What?
Oh hell no!
No,
You tweaking.
no. Yeah, you tweaking. I love Russell. You tweaking.
Nah.
I think he's gonna end up there.
Over Zeke?
Over IT. That's
Over the
crazy.
real IT? Nah,
Original
I can't do that.
IT.
I said what I said. I said what I said.
No, I can't.
Mr. Laker fan. Mr. Laker fan. I said what I said.
Hey, IT beat Magic, Larry, and Jordan all in their primes to win the ships, and he was the leading scorer and the driving force.
Plus this man he had a historical game where he literally played on one foot.
I respect your list, though. I do.
Yeah.
PTP wish your list.
Now that I think about it, I completely forgot about Oscar when I thought about putting him top 3. I mean, that's like here nor there. I mean, he did have the triple doubles, but
with all due respect, Oscar will never be in my top 5, and he never has been.
Yeah, because I kind of wanted to drop him down. I want to drop him down still because I mean, I kind of look at him. I look at Westbrook. Like statistically, he's a goat, but overall, he really hasn't shown. Because he went with Kareem, but after that, what was really left? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he was way older. My whole thing
older.
is, I don't like putting certain players that played in certain eras in the conversations like these. And the point guard conversation is one of those. It's one of the biggest ones where the game is elevated and changed and evolved so much. Like, bro, like I look like Oscar could barely do a crossover. That'd be, you know what I mean? Like,
if it's like from the black and white time, it's hard to kind of rank them higher than 15.
It's like, and if he's a wing or like a big man, then yeah, I can see him scoring, or I can see him like scoring off that mid range. That's still very important. But it's like a point guard is just like the game has evolved so much more, and like I don't know, it's unfair, but I mean that's just how it is for me, you know.
Because like for point guards, I mean, you know what?
I don't think that Oscar's like vision and like, you know, basketball IQ would be up there with like a Magic, Chris Paul, or, you know,
even AI.
He wouldn't be able to score with AI.
Yeah.
I know he scored in his time. He was averaging 30, but I mean, shit, AI was averaging 30 in the hardest defensive era in basketball history. So,
plus back in those eras, it was like point guards that were over 6'3" were doing post hooks. So I mean,
bro, the dude was driving from baseline to baseline, ass into somebody. He would turn around and do a mid range. I got love for Oscar, but man, come on, man.
Skill wise,
the eye test does not pass for me. And but triple doubles. Triple doubles was a thing. Definitely was a thing. But I mean, when I turn on tape of him and then I turn on tape of Russ, you know, one look way better than the other. I ain't gonna, you know.
More or less, yeah. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, but like, if I had to do a top 5, more or less, I'll just do it like that. Yeah, my Magic 1. That number 2 spot is crazy. The reason I want to say Jerry is because of how much he won. I probably said that.
Jerry only got like 1 or 2 rings. He lost in the.
I forgot. He only won with a.
And also, like Jerry's, he was he a point guard or was he a 2? Because I've seen plenty of people put him at the 2.
It's hard to tell because people move Elgin up to the 3 sometimes.
Gramps, let us know what the truth is.
What?
Was he a winner?
Was Jerry a true one? Yeah. What's that team?
I mean,
see, it's not a defined answer. But that's my point, though.
Yeah, I mean, he played both.
Yeah, okay.
So, I mean, you know, I don't know if I could really.
So when he was playing,
true.
was the point guard that he was playing with when he was playing two?
Oh God, I'm not that old, man.
I'm not saying that you are, but I'm saying like you are older than us, so you might remember.
I don't honestly. I don't recall.
Okay, all right.
Must say Gale.
I do know he played. I do know he played 1 and 2 though.
Was
So
it maybe Gale ran some one? I don't know. McLaughlin? I know McLaughlin played for the Bucks. It might be Gale probably because I know Gale played 1 and 2. They probably alternated. Dang, more or less. Who was? I mean, if I'm taking Oscar out, then it probably would be like Magic 1, Curry 2, CP3 3, and then Isaiah 4, 5. Damn. I'd probably say AI.
These are some interesting lists.
Yeah, maybe right now my mind is blocked because when I got to 4 or when I got to 5, I was like, "Dang!" I'm trying to shuffle through like best point guards and.
I mean, but is it fair that AI gets to straddle both conversations? Because people definitely put him in the shooting guard conversation too. I don't put him in either. He's just a basketball player to me, honestly. I don't put him in.
Honestly, he is kind of positionless because I mean he was small enough to be a point guard, but he was a scorer like a 2, so he kind of just was. He kind of was anywhere they needed him to be.
Yeah.
Like the names I'm thinking of like TJ Ford, and I'm like, I know these guys ain't top 5. Like I'm trying to think of like that 2000 era where like I don't want to put Steve Francis top 5 because I don't think he's top 5.
You looking for another name?
Yeah, more or less. Well, that's on top of my head. Like I was trying to.
You got John Stockton, Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, Gary Payton, Russell Westbrook. Yeah. I mean, to be quite honest, them is the names you got.
Now that I think about it, shoot, I probably put Gary. I probably put Gary in 5. Then I don't know. Like a lot of names like really just missing me. I really don't think Stockton's top 5 either. Though.
I mean, shit, I think Gary is worse than all the names I listed. But
I mean, as far as like offensively, yeah, but defensively, that man was a menace. So as far as like a real throw him on anybody type of scenario, Steve Nash definitely is like another valid person for 5 because passing visual was crazy. But probably put Gary 5 if I had to take out AI.
I love it. Our lists are so different. I love it. At least toward the bottom. Toward the bottom, they're very different.
Yeah.
Toward the top different too. Well, the real list, I guess.
The real list?
No, but on the list of keys though, like I got Magic at 1, 2, but it's just like, do y'all ever sometimes be like, yeah, like yes, he's the greatest because he got like the 5 rings, like 3 MVPs and shit. I think he got 3 MVPs, but it's like, do y'all ever feel, like, do y'all ever look at like Steph Curry or like Chris Paul and what they're doing and just like Magic couldn't do any of this shit? Like
more or less the Magic, the only thing Magic really has over them was, like I said, the post game ability. He had a post game and he was taller. That's really the only thing he kind of really has.
He got the 5 rings, man. If Steph Curry gets 2 more, then he's gonna be 1. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, if Magic Johnson had 1 or 2 rings, he would not be. He wouldn't be 1. Yeah. It's the fact that he got the 5 rings and he won straight off the bat, and like
he has Larry Bird,
and he has great vision, and he almost has like a what if story because it's like he was like top 3 or something or top 4 at assists when he retired early.
Yeah.
So it's just like, but at the same point in time, it's like, bro, like yeah, great vision, great player, all time great. Well, I'm looking at Steph Curry and the shit that he doing.
Yeah. I mean, statistically, I mean, taking him out, then shoot, that's a Chris Paul, right. Curry top 2.
Right. And then I'm looking at Chris Paul play with so many different iterations of different teams or coaches, and they all immediately win. Yeah. And he's played different roles on a lot of them.
About to say like went from the Hornets to Houston to
Or
OKC.
you forgot about Clippers.
Oh yeah, Clippers. Oh yeah, that the Lob City era.
Yeah.
Like, and even now, it's like shoot, that boy got Devin Booker looking like second coming of somebody. I ain't gonna say the name, some people get hot, but
Well,
second coming of something.
I ain't gonna go that far. Cause if that was the case, then they would have a ship right now. They had to beat the Bucks if he was really that.
Well, yeah.
But,
I mean, he did his thing. That's because Aiden was a cupcake.
No, he
Really
definitely did his thing. But if he was that man,
he would have pulled it out. Yeah,
it would have been a chip. them 35s and 40s would have been 50s and 55s. I fully believe that. But anyway, I got Magic at 1 begrudgingly because I love Chris Paul. I got Steph at 2. I got Chris Paul at 3. I got Isaiah Thomas at 4. And at my 5, I probably got. Lord knows I want to put him there, but I don't think I will. I'll probably put Jason Kidd.
Wow.
Or John's. I'll probably put Jason Kidd at my top 5. I place an incredible amount of stock in what he was able to do with the Nets.
Oh, he's very
you look
underrated.
at that team.
He's very underrated for that.
I think. Defensively, obviously, I think he was very good. He was very good defensively. Very good leader. Very good passer. And also, like, he was able to transform his game too. Like, he was not a shooter coming in, and he was able to change his game, become a really good shooter, and be a very good player on the championship team as the starting point guard.
Went to Dallas and did his thing. So
yeah, so it's like, I don't know. I feel like the more time goes on, people give more and more less love to John Stockton.
John Stockton, like, personal views aside, a lot of people are kind of looking at him now to just look like, outside of passing, what did he do? And if he didn't have Karl Malone, what would he have actually been? That's probably the main reason why he drops lower and lower. Because in the early stages, it's like, okay,
he's a great defender. He's a great defender.
Yeah, but it's like in the early stages, they would be like, okay, like whenever they bring up his rankings, it's like, the defense is included, but it's like, okay, the dynamic duo of Malone and him, like his passing vision and all that stuff, it goes together. But if you take him and put him on another team without a post presence to really facilitate, what would he have been? So, at least I kind of would have seen it. Like if he was playing with, like if you took him and put him on Run TMC, would he still be the guy that people look at? I don't think so. Like if he took out the T, like, I don't think he'd be that guy.
Yeah, but shit. You don't just average 13 and 14 assists for nothing.
Yeah.
That ain't. A lot of it is Carl, but it ain't all Carl.
Yeah, but he had All-Star tag
and all Carl.
And who else did he have?
Yeah, good team.
Russell. Yeah, Byron Russell, I think, played on that team.
Yeah.
But I don't think he had to have a check the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hornacek probably came out a little bit later.
Yeah. My issue with I can't put Steve up there just because it bothers me that, like,
the MVP.
Well, that, but more. It's all a part of the same thing. Like, Steve he's a great point guard and he belongs in the Hall of Fame, but he is definitely just a recipient of the rule changes plus Mike D'Antoni pairing. Like, he wasn't like that before or after. You know what I mean? So it's like,
oh, you talking about like how defense was changed?
Yeah, it's just like you can see the jump in his stats. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think Steve Nash would be great in all eras of basketball. I do think that Chris Paul would be.
Yeah.
I used to not, but I do think that Steph Curry would be now. I didn't always think that, but this version of Steph Curry now would be great at all eras of basketball.
Yeah.
Chris Paul, I think Jason Kidd, Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson would literally just be a less athletic but more aggressive Ben Simmons. And Ben Simmons with aggressiveness would be a superstar.
Yeah. Plus Magic, down the stretch he started shooting a little bit, I think.
No, he did. He did. He had a respectable shot.
Yeah, it was ugly as all hell, but he shot that motherfucker. Shot it. That is actually a very vast difference in the three. That boy Gramson put up a Westbrook at 5. I think he put Westbrook at 5. I respect it. But wow.
I mean, listen. I said, if he get a ring, trust and believe. I will have him there.
If he gets a ring, he moves up to 7.
I can't even. I can't even. I can't even in good faith put him like Steve, Jason Kidd, and all of them. I can't in good faith completely put him over him completely. Like I had him over there. I had Jason Kidd there, but like if somebody else wants to put Russell there, I'd be cool. Like it's not egregious, but having him at 7, I mean, I guess you got him behind all those people. It's fine. But he definitely belongs in the conversation.
Yeah, if he gets a few more accolades, ergo the ring.
Because Steve Nash don't got no ring. Gary Payton don't got no ring. Steve don't even got a finals appearance, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he almost had it, but he got thrown into a board by Robert Horry. He got thrown into a panel and fucked his whole eye up.
Hey, don't disrespect Big Shot Bob now.
Hey, Big Shot Bob had a jumper, but he was also a dirty man. That boy would have Tim Duncan to be in that finals and went nuts for the stop.
This man being petty because he Big Shot Bob, Big Shot you out of a title.
No, think about it. Then Amari Stoudemire got ejected. He got kicked out for the rest of the series because he stepped on the court. Like if Ori didn't do that dirty play, we'd be talking about Steve Nash in the finals right now.
I mean, maybe or maybe not. You know, you never know. It was a close series.
They were giving the Spurs that work at some point, though.
Man, you weren't even alive back then.
Wow. What year was that? Was that like 03, 04? Well, not 03, 04. What year was that?
It might have been like it might have been one of them 4 or 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that was.
This thing might have been. I think it was 2005.
Might have been. Around that time, I was coherent. I was 4, I think. I seen something. I seen Ori do that dirty shit. That's what I saw.
He said I was living life. I was.
Yeah, but by the way, Graham, it ain't about Big Shot Bob shooting us out of title.
It's about Steve. It's about Steve Nash not making it to the finals. That's what it's about.
It's about the soccer player turned basketball player get cheated out of a championship appearance. I ain't gonna say he would have won, but the appearance would have been.
Because Russell, if it wasn't for LeBron, Russell would have a ring. You know what I'm saying? So let's not disrespect Russ now. Let's not do that.
There's a lot of ways you could take it.
What you mean? LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh on the other side. What are you talking about?
I mean, for Steve, he got Tim Duncan on the other side. Ginobili.
You're absolutely right, but okay, now come on now.
Okay, Parker.
Stop that. Come on now, stop that. Them is Hall of Famers, but I'm talking about LeBron and D Wade now. Now Tim, I can cross off Tim with LeBron, but you listen, Dwayne Wade, you don't get to cross off Dwayne Wade with Manu Ginobili. I'm sorry.
Ginobili was one of the best 6 men of all time.
You right.
He probably is the best 6 man of all time.
Listen. You can cross off Chris Bosh, one of them boys, but I'm not. Listen.
So Bosh with Parker is valid, but Ginobili and Wade is when we cross the line.
I'm saying like Chris. Yeah, I'm saying like they're all. I think that like Ginobili, Tony Parker, and like Chris Bosh are like all kind of similar tier type star players. You know, Hall of Famer, like lower end Hall of Famers. Like Dwayne Wade, he's not on the Pantheon, but he's like top 20, 30 player to me of all time. I mean, there's not many guys that can lead a team to a championship run, and he was one of those guys that did it. Like those guys are like the top of the tops. The LeBrons, Mikes, Kobe's at the top, the Tims, Hakeem's, Larry's, Dwayne Wade's. Shit. Those guys that you're gonna win. You're gonna win a championship regardless. It's what I think. Dwayne Wade had an argument of the best basketball player in the league at a certain point. He had an argument.
Oh yeah, that Flash era was crazy.
It was like LeBron, Kobe, D Wade. Shit was crazy.
Yeah.
And that's why Russ don't got no ring. It's okay. Ain't no shame in losing to I ain't gonna call him the GOAT, but he definitely
one of the greatest of all
time.
Top 2. Yeah.
He definitely top 2. He can be 2. That's fine. But he's in that top 2.
Yeah. I mean, this year, people could be like, this is the year, and right now it don't look like it. So,
hey, listen, man. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. Y'all don't be hearing me, man. LeBron has been balling out. Okay,
and that's it.
All I needed to see was that he could. But all I needed to see was that he's still capable. So now that I've seen it for these last couple games, I don't care what he does for the rest of the season. I know it's there. And Russell has been playing better with the team. Turnovers, they're still kind of there, but he's been playing better with the team. The real issue, in my opinion, is Anthony Davis. And I know I just segued from Steph Curry to point guards to Anthony Davis, but
that was a smooth one.
he's been being a punk, man. And I think I know. So, a lot of the media has been killing him. I'm going to kill him some more because I think a lot of our struggles are on him. I think this was definitely, if it wasn't last year, it's definitely this year where he's supposed to take the mantle as the team leader, team lead, primary option. Offense is everything's supposed to run through you. You're supposed to be the focal point. It's your team now. And it just, ever since he won that championship, he just think he a made man. He just think he just belong in all the time conversations with Lakers big men and all this and that. And I hate to break it to you, man. You're not there. You're not there. Paul Gasol is over you for Lakers big man right now. And no disrespect to Paul Gasol because he's a great player. But Anthony Davis has more talent and he should be better. He should be a better player, but right now he's not. If we had that Paul Gasol, if we had the Paul Gasol during Kobe's second runs, we'd be so much better right now. It'd be amazing. It'd be incredible. I would much rather have that guy right now than Anthony Davis, or as Charles Barkley so eloquently calls him, street clothes.
Street clothes?
He calls him street clothes because he's always in street clothes because he's saying he always hurt.
Hey, that's dirty. That's dirty. But I mean,
do you guys think that I'm placing too much blame? Yeah,
I know more or less because two things more or less I just want to kind of get out the way immediately. As far as like him being a made man, he did say after he won that championship he ain't got to prove nothing else. So his play definitely resembles that whole.
I thought he was joking.
Hey, it seemed like he wasn't lying to y'all. But then on top of that, as far as like he thinks he's probably top ranked in Lakers history, we can't forget about Andre Drummond or Andre Abdul-Jabbar. Like, hey, a lot of guys go over there and just think, like a lot of guys just go over there and think, okay, since I'm playing with Bron and we're winning games, this is where we rank. And it's like that's not how this works. But definitely him being made of glass is a prototypical reason. He can't bang anymore because every time he bangs with somebody, it's either a shoulder, or an elbow, or a wrist, or something. Like it's not working out for him. And then, in entertainment of the year, you could say, okay, Westbrook's turnovers were absolutely abysmal, which they kind of still are, a little bit. Bron was missing time, so that takes away their leader, more or less. But now it's definitely like not everybody's playing. Bron's hitting more threes than AD. And Bron's taking more contact than AD. That shouldn't be what's going on at that stage in his career. At least he can still do it, but more or less, Westbrook.
He shouldn't have to.
Yeah, like Westbrook is definitely going to take the brunt of that because that's just how his play is. But AD should be second to Bron when it comes to taking that contact because he should be able to take the contact, but he can't.
Gramps?
Yes.
You don't have that. Yeah, I guess Grant doesn't have anything to say about the Lakers because they're not his team. I guess. I guess that's what it is. They're not. It's not big. It's not Big Green, so he doesn't care. I got you.
In a way, technically, he
I-
could talk about how Robert Williams and Jason Tatum look. He sunned him for an entire game. We could talk about that.
Talk about how you dodged that bullet. How about that? You don't have Anthony Davis because if you did, I'm sure you'd be complaining too. You could. You almost had him.
Like, what do you want to say? Lakers are a mess.
Well, they're gonna win it too. So I mean, whatever happens, it's gonna.
They're a mess, and my prediction from what episode 1?
What was your prediction?
I think I had them at 2 or 3. By 3?
Yeah, it's like you had them at least.
I think I predicted them at. No, they weren't 1.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. No, I think I ended up with 2. I think I had. I think I had Utah 1, LA 2, and Phoenix 3. Not looking great right now. It's they're a mess. They're old and they're slow. Let's just be honest. They're old and they're slow and they look a mess right now. Let's just call it what it is.
Okay, first of all, we're ragging on Anthony Davis, not the Lakers as a whole. They are 6th right now, and they have a chance to move up. It's not like they're out of the playoffs or anything like that.
But granted, I mean,
we won our last 2 games.
They're 6th in placement, but they're dead last in pacing. That plays a part.
Okay. I mean, but that's always not always been, but that's been LeBron teams. In his later years, like they're a slower paced team. Like that's just natural. And I know that. I mean that directly conflicts with the way that Russell plays. I get that. It's not like the construction of the team is definitely it's different.
Yeah, but more or less, it definitely. But I feel like more or less LeBron would want the more youthful team for what could potentially be his final run if he wants it to be. But I mean, he wants to play with his guys. He likes brought Melo. Yeah, he brought Melo over there. Granted, but I mean,
Melo's been a great signing for them. Honestly,
Melo's been looking like he should start over AD sometimes because of his shooting prowess.
I ain't gonna go that far. I ain't gonna go that far.
At this point, more or less, if you think about it, out of your power forward position at this point, y'all need rebounds, a body in front, and some shots. And Melo is giving y'all.
I need AD.
Giving y'all both of that.
I need AD to stop taking jump shots. If he just stays, if he just stays in the stay in the paint, stay in the mid range. Like you don't need to be taking any threes anymore. Like you're shooting. I'm not like he's shooting like one of the worst percentages like of all time with like the attempts that he's taking. I think he's shooting under 20% from 3. Yeah. Like bro, like come on, like stop taking threes.
Yeah, and this is like probably his worst, more or less because he's forcing it more. Like it seems like he's forcing it more. Because then again, they also kind of
and it's crazy. I mean, I don't know if we from the perimeter or.
No, like overall, because like the little dribble size,
he's got the talent.
Like them little dribble sides up into the pull up, like a couple times on that stretch, like in the bubble and during last season, he made a couple of those. And now everybody's like, oh, like AD's like he's moving up there for top players in the league right now. And then you forget about the injury factor and the fact that there's stretches. He's a pretty much prototypical definition of like a hot and cold streak. Some games he's banging shots. He'll get you a game winner, but more often than not, he's gonna go 2 for 4.
But the thing is, as a post and inside player, like an inside out player, like he should be, you shouldn't really be having hot and cold games because the majority of your shots are gonna be inside the paint. You know what I mean? So it's not like I'm asking you to take Kobe mid ranges. You know what I mean? Like
you're not asking him to be team, but. Because even with the Pau Gasol comparison, more or less, if anything, that's actually he should be playing it. Like Pau Gasol was a post guy, but if he was on that perimeter, they knew he could make the shot. His whole goal wasn't to just be the perimeter guy because obviously he had Kobe and a bunch of other people that could shoot on the perimeter. If you just happen to be out there, you take the shot. But AD wants to dribble into it and run the break, which he can do, but that's not something that you should be doing every single possession or more than 3 times in a quarter.
Man, he's a head. He be making me scratch my head, man. And it's like, and I'm not even saying that this part is his fault at all, but like even like a large part of Russell's turnovers would be him trying to force feed Anthony Davis. Get him. They're
I've seen with
all
LeBron. Like,
they're all
I think the Eddie was leaking out.
yeah,
And
they're
tried to
all
hit
consciously trying to get him the ball. Yeah, they're all like consciously trying to get him the ball, and it's like, bro, like, did you not? I thought you were tired of all the shit we was talking about last year. You came and we talking the same shit. I don't understand. It's like, I don't know. The year we won the championship, he was hungry. And in the bubble, he was hungry. He looked like that. And I haven't seen that guy. Not consistently, at least.
I say in the bubble he was him. Now he's just he. At this point,
man. No, it is what it is, man. I just know, at some point, because I believe it to be so. At some point they'll get it together. I don't know how, but they will. I have to believe because, like I said, Lakers in 2.
Hey, but I mean, based on what I've seen on Instagram, Kendrick Nunn apparently seems to want to be the solution for it. Because I remember he's talking to Isaiah Hartenstein, and he was like, "Y'all know who runs LA. Just wait till I'm out there."
I'm okay. First of all, I mean, don't act like Kendrick is just like some bench player that ain't gonna get no tick. He's definitely gonna come in and play significant minutes whenever he get back. So I mean, he can. I don't have a problem with him saying that.
Nunn's not a bum, but more or less, if you think about it, Nunn ain't gonna come in and put up Bron-like numbers with this team. Like,
of course not. But listen, if he can come in and take away Avery Bradley's minutes, then that would be a blessing. Oh, please. If he can come in and do that and put Avery on the bench, then that would be fantastic. Because, he need to go somewhere.
I ain't gonna lie. If Vogel is anything like Casey, where I thought to myself, maybe once Saban leaves back on the roster, Corey Joseph will stop getting so many minutes. And then I look at the box score, and Corey Joseph is still ticking in at over 10 minutes a game.
Oh, I would gladly take Corey Joseph over Avery Bradley.
Oh, y'all can take him.
We'll trade you Corey Joe for Avery Bradley. You want him?
Oh, hell no!
It's exactly.
I'm about to say, give us THT and Reed. Oh no, give us THT and McClung. And you got
that's
Jeremy
not even a fair trade.
That's fair.
Oh,
Jeremy and Coach, I hope y'all win now.
Oh, you said Jeremy Grant? Oh, okay, yeah, I'd definitely give you THT for Jeremy Grant.
I can't even say McClung, more or less. Actually, probably McClung. I ain't gonna lie, for the G League and purposes.
Take Mac. We don't care about that either. Take Mac. I don't care
because I don't want to use Mac.
Listen, listen, THT is a good player, but I mean, like you said, we're trying to win now. We got to maximize what we got, and Jeremy is that guy that's gonna be able. He's gonna be able to score. He's gonna do for us exactly what he was doing when he was in Denver. And that is perfect. Like he can be that X factor where he can have those games where he scores 20 points, or he can play very good defense. He's a good cutter, good finisher around the rim, and now he's expanded his game to where he can shoot and handle a little bit more than he did, especially like in his younger days in OKC and shit. Like he'd be the perfect player.
Yeah,
I don't know if we ain't gonna get him, but
Oh yeah, y'all would have to really put a rabbit out y'all to make that trade happen. Because as of right now, I mean, like the city of Detroit is not really upset about Jeremy Grant leaving because I mean he's taken away. Like the first game he sat out, Cade had like 20.
Okay,
so
he ain't taking away nothing. He's a good player on your team.
He's no. Have you seen what he does on that court?
He's the scorer.
But that's the thing, though. Him and Sadiq don't pass. That's the problem. Because
he's a scorer.
Yeah, but think about it. This is the thing. If they come down in full sets, right? Hayes might pass it to Cade. Cade passes it to Sadiq. What happens? Nothing, because Sadiq is trying to size up his matchup.
Cade ain't making half of his shots right now, so I ain't trying to hear none of that.
No, his consistency is going up. If you think about it, him at high volume for what he could be scoring-wise, I understand that. But there's certain times where Jeremy Grant will have 30 a night. Next night, low 20s. And even though low 20s is obviously on any other team what you would want, we're in a rebuilding situation. We can't be having Jeremy Grant taking 20 shots a game. We need to see what else we got on this
Why
court.
can't you?
We need to see what else we got on this court. And then Sadiq is just I don't know what's wrong with him.
How old is Jeremy Grant?
He's almost 30.
Okay, is he almost 30, like 27, or is he almost 30, like 29 and 278 days?
I think he's like 29.
He's not that old.
He's up there.
Yeah,
bro.
he's not that old. He's 20. I was just saying he's 27. He ain't. I was about to say he ain't that damn old.
He getting up there. His birthday in March will be 20.
He's in his prime right now. Yeah, he's literally in his prime right now.
And in his prime, he wants to be Rip Hamilton. Man, I don't like that.
If you had Rip Hamilton, this would be a better team.
Oh yeah, more or less. Most definitely. But it's like, I mean, as far as like the scoring prowess that I know he possesses, sometimes he's forcing it. Like, to be honest, like I look at Jeremy Grant like sometimes I look at Tatum. Like granted, he can get you up. Now hold on. Before I even get into it, because Grant is probably over, like, they're not even. I understand that, not talent wise, but as far as like how they can go from 30, 40 plus point games. Then it kind of like, they might have a cool down game. It's 15, or they might float around that 20.
He said your boy inconsistent. You gonna take that?
I'm going to ignore his hateful comments.
He just put Jeremy Grant and Jason Tatum in the same sentence. You gonna take that?
No, hold on. Bias aside, we can't just sit here and act like Tatum is giving y'all 35 a night consistently.
He's
averaging buckets, but there are
Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant can't tie Jason Tatum's shoes.
I literally just said I'm not saying talent wise. I'm talking about point wise, as far as like how they fluctuate. I'm not saying Jeremy Grant is Tatum.
That's how average works, though. He damn near give them almost 30 points a game.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
He's close to the 30. He's closer to 30 points a game a night than he isn't.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, because I got him in fantasy, and there's sometimes there's sometimes he giving out 13, 15, then the next night he giving somebody 35. I mean, sometimes and then other nights it's like he giving you a 24, a 25, a 28. You know what I'm saying? Basically, similar to what similar to what Grant does. I'm not saying talent wise. Obviously, Jeremy Grant is shooting like Tatum. I'm not saying none of that. I'm saying as far as like a nightly basis, you kind of get similar point production. Just one team is winning and the other one isn't. So obviously Tatum looks like astronomically the way better player, when in reality it's not.
You get say what you say.
Oh no, this conversation this for another episode, because
this one I had to break it down because I'm
not. He had to stop.
Y'all not gonna make it like I hate Tatum. I'm keeping it a buck. I'm keeping it a bean.
The thing is, you was about to say something. You really didn't. You kind of finished it, but you didn't. You was like, in reality, they're not really that much different. Say one is winning, and the other isn't. But in reality, it's basically the same. And you lost me there, man. I can't even cap it on you, man.
Yeah, no. I'm not saying, like I said, I was gonna say it once, I'll say it again. Well, I said it twice. But talent-wise, I'm not saying that Grant is Tatum. Production-wise, sometimes it looks like
you don't want to win that one either. Okay, I was gonna say, because you ain't gonna get that one either, man.
Yeah, but sometimes it looks like. I'm not gonna say like Grant's giving you 30 plus. I mean, what did he average last year?
Last year was a very good year, but he dropped down at 22. He's a sub 20 point per game scorer. He's literally he's a better version of Aaron Gordon. That's honestly what I think.
Hopefully that's a low blow.
I mean, I don't think it's a low blow. Aaron Gordon was average.
Aaron Gordon when they compared him to Tatum. They compared him to Tatum.
It's kind of similar to like, because Jeremy Grant has averaged like 14 to 15 points on a championship level team, the Denver Nuggets, and on a team where he's like the main offensive guy, he's averaging like close to 20 or over 20. When Aaron Gordon was in not Denver, but Orlando, he was averaging like 17. I think was his highest point per game average. So I don't think when he was asked to do more of the offense, I don't think that's a bad comparison. They're both athletic. They both can finish around the rim. They're both very good cutters. They both can defend. I don't think it's that bad of a comparison.
Yeah,
I think the Nuggets literally went. the Nuggets literally went out and got Aaron Gordon because they were missing Jeremy Grant.
Oh yeah, more or less, yeah. Or like Jermichael Green was just not what they thought it was going to be. Yeah, we wouldn't say it for something else because I'm low-key forgetting that it's also like a predominant Boston like type of energy at this point. So I'm gonna hold off.
It's just one guy. It's just one guy that's a Boston fan.
Not talking about in general, like probably from a listener base. It's probably a lot more Boston than anything else. So I'm gonna just put this on the reserve,
Yeah, because you said what you said. You don't want to take the consequences for it now.
No, I said what I said. I mean, it's out there now, but.
Audience,
I've been down this road already. So
for the audience, after hearing this blasphemy, especially the audience that I know would side with me here, feel free when we list our socials and whatnot to comment and give feedback, and let PTP know how wrong he is. But anyway.
Yeah, I'm not that.
No facts. We're going.
No, because y'all
it's not
act like Tatum is God in the streets of Massachusetts. Y'all ain't won nothing either. We're in the same boat.
We are not in the same boat.
No, we're not. Jason Tatum is a sub.
I'm saying they ain't won nothing. That's what I'm saying. As far as like that.
Is that what we're gonna? Is that what we're gonna do now? Jason Tatum is taking his team to conference finals and dropped 50 balls in the playoffs. Like he's a sub top 10 player. And Jeremy Grant is nowhere near that. And he plays with the Pistons.
I don't know why you had to throw that. You have to throw that dig in there. You have to throw that dig in there now.
But I'll just end it at this, more or less, for this at least, because I don't know how we got to this point from Anthony Davis. But
I don't know. We're kind of going off the rails now.
Yeah. I'm just saying more or less, like this is what makes the world a good place, because not everybody thinks the same.
That's fair. Absolutely right.
Tatum might be God in Boston. To me, he's a player. That's fine. Like that's just fine.
Yeah, that's disrespectful.
That's just fine.
He's a better player than.
Yeah, he's a player. Like he's just some 12th man off the bench. Come on now.
If you could trade Jeremy Grant for Jason Tatum, you would do it yesterday.
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't.
You lied.
You are.
No. Because if you think about it, if I just said I'm mad, if I just said I'm mad at the amount of shots that Grant is taking, what makes you think I want Tatum on my team?
Because he's a better player at every point.
Tatum does that. Tatum does that because no one else on the team can shoot.
Yeah. Nobody plays. It's like no stuff. But
this is really crazy.
Wow.
Are you like trolling right now?
I'm not trolling
on purpose.
I'm not trolling, but to make it seem
you would rather have Jeremy Grant on your team than Jason Tatum.
No, if I had it my way, neither of them would be on my basketball team.
No. That was not the.
You'd rather have neither of them on your team? That is ruthless.
What's going on here?
I don't know.
It's just that blasphemous that's crazy.
He's gonna take shots away from Cade.
Cade is the future of this team.
He's a point guard, and he's not gonna be able to take all the shots.
Imagine how good Jason Tatum would be if he had a point guard like that.
No, that's why PDP's not thinking about that, man.
I'm thinking about
I'm
thinking towards the future.
Not only is Jason Tatum
Tatum on a team with the right players and with a point guard like Cade, that's a shit.
And not only is he significantly better, he's a significantly better player than Jeremy Grant. He also fits your age timeline because he's 23. Not to say that you're going to get him, but just to add more.
I mean, we probably got a better chance of getting Jaylen Brown than we do for Tatum, but I mean that's a different.
You absolutely do.
That's a different story.
You absolutely do. But I mean, he takes a lot of shots too. So,
but Brown, Brown's a 2.
Okay, and Tatum's a 3 or a 4. What is your point? Neither of them are a point guard.
Well, Brown at the 2. That's 3 and D. I feel like Brown fits better though. Well,
based on what?
based on what his stats have shown as a player. You know, defensively, I think defensively he's good, shooting the ball, very consistent. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, Jason Tatum is a consistent shooter as well, and he's a good defender. I don't know if he's as good as Jaylen Brown, but he's definitely a good defender.
Yeah, I mean, mainly I'll put it like this.
Yeah, he's not as good a defender overall as Jaylen Brown. I would say he's a better
still good.
He's a better defender at the rim for sure, but overall, Jalen's a better defender. I'll give him that. Yeah,
because more or less, like, it's also a thing too. I see it as not comparable to the old teams that the city has had, but there's certain players that I just feel like would fit. And not to take away from anybody's productive, like anybody's scoring ability. Is this
because you guys took Darko instead of Melo? Is that why you feel this way? I feel like if you would have had Melo, you would absolutely want Tatum.
No, because I mean, at that point, no. I mean, if it was a score, I mean, technically, Rip really wasn't a good defender. He played defense, but he wasn't really like a lockdown. But I mean, technically,
I'm just talking about like the forwards, like the elite scoring forward. 6'8" to 6'10" guys. That are bucket getters. That's not really been y'all from that position.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, we tried it with Singler, and it didn't happen. So
who?
Kyle Singler.
Who? I know you ain't. I know.
He was. I think he was like 6'7", and he was like 6'7", and in college he was a shooter. We're not gonna like Kyle Singler was just a complete bum.
It's been the Going for Three pod. We want to thank y'all for tuning in.
You see how they treat me, people. You see how they treat me.
We gonna take it out. We want to thank you guys for listening. Follow us on our socials. Going for Three pod on Twitter, Instagram coming soon.
At Tony the Real on Twitter.
Yep, and then PTP.
Oh, now you want me to talk, so let me stop. But yeah,
at least we got a little levity and comedy in the episode. There's nothing wrong with that.
Where can they follow you?
Okay, at PTP_99. By the way,
we're laughing. There's comedy.
I'll put it like this. At PTP_99 on Twitter. If y'all want to tweet at me,
if they hear this,
we would discuss this. I want to hear.
If they hear it, they will.
Whoever wants to bring this to my attention and try to show me numbers and stuff, I would appreciate it. I stand by my words.
I see you do. Yeah. Well, make sure you guys keep following us and be on the lookout for all the news we got going on, and make sure you listen to the episode. All right, have a good one.
Stay blessed, everyone.